The princess, according to her promise, called on my mother, and did not please her. I was not present at their meeting. But at table my mother narrated to my father that Princess Zasyékin seemed to her a femme très vulgaire. That she had bored her immensely with her requests that she would intervene on her behalf with Prince Sergyéi. That she was always having such lawsuits and affairs, de vilaines affaires d'argent, and that she must be a great rogue. But my mother added that she had invited her with her daughter to dine on the following day. On hearing the words, with her daughter, I dropped my nose into my plate, because, notwithstanding, she was a neighbor, and with a name. Thereupon my father informed my mother that he now recalled who the lady was, that in his youth he had known the late Prince Zasyékin, a capitally educated but flighty and captious man, that in society he was called Le Parisien, because of his long residence in Paris, that he had been very wealthy, but had gambled away all his property, and, no one knew why, though probably it had been for the sake of the money, although he might have made a better choice, added my father. With a cold smile, he had married the daughter of some clerk in a chancellery, and after his marriage had gone into speculation, and ruined himself definitively. "'Tis a wonder she did not try to borrow money," remarked my mother. "She is very likely to do it," said my father, calmly. "Does she speak French?" "Very badly. However, that makes no difference. I think thou saidst that thou hadst invited her daughter. Someone assured me that she is a very charming and well-educated girl." "Ah. Then she does not take after her mother." "Nor after her father," returned my father. "He was also well-educated, but stupid." My mother sighed, and became thoughtful. My father relapsed into silence. I felt very awkward during the course of that conversation. After dinner I betook myself to the garden, but without my gun. I had pledged my word to myself that I would not go near the Zasyékin garden, but an irresistible force drew me thither, and not in vain. I had no sooner approached the fence than I caught sight of Zinaïda. This time she was alone. She was holding a small book in her hands and strolling slowly along the path. She did not notice me. I came near letting her slip past, but suddenly caught myself up and coughed. She turned round but did not pause, put aside with one hand the broad blue ribbon of her round straw hat, looked at me, smiled quietly, and again riveted her eyes on her book. I pulled off my cap, and after fidgeting about a while on one spot, I went away with a heavy heart. Qui suis-je pour elle? I thought, God knows why, in French. Familiar footsteps resounded behind me. I glanced round and beheld my father advancing toward me with swift, rapid strides. "Is that the young princess?" he asked me. "Yes. Dost thou know her?" "I saw her this morning at the princess her mother's." My father halted and, wheeling abruptly round on his heels, retraced his steps. As he came on a level with Zinaïda, he bowed courteously to her. She bowed to him in return, not without some surprise on her face, and lowered her book. I saw that she followed him with her eyes. My father always dressed very elegantly, originally and simply, but his figure had never seemed to me more graceful. Never had his grey hat sat more handsomely on his curls, which were barely beginning to grow thin. I was on the point of directing my course towards Zinaïda, but she did not even look at me, but raised her book once more and walked away.